Hello again. Welcome back. Had to go do some stuff while I was kind of collecting my thoughts a little bit. Man, that's such a bummer. I was so excited for that game when I saw it was coming out. I don't want to be a downer. I don't want to hate on everything that's new, but like... that was not good. No skin customization options, no ability to turn off the flashing on the judgment. Like, that's inexcusable already on its own. That gets into, like, accessibility issues. But then, you know, I can excuse some instability, you know, some game crashes, some maybe drifting out of sync inconsistently, but it kind of seemed like that was just how the chart was. And that the chart was just bad. I went back and looked and it did break in the same place twice. Like they intended, that's how they intended that chart to be. But then I think the biggest disappointment for me is the song selection. Like, if I wanted to play songs like that, I would just go play, you know, like scroll through random Sound Voltex, or like find an EDM pack on Eterna or something. Like, that's already my biggest complaint about Sound Voltex, is how little song variety there is, and how much of it is just kind of generic EDM. So taking a game that has all this really rich variety of totally unique songs, like random Chinese Vocaloid and rock and collaborations with other, you know, weird rhythm games like Muse Dash, or the Nekopara theme, which for some reason was in the original, with all of these weird songs that you're never gonna find in another game, and having those be replaced by generic rhythm game music. Because we're serious now. And on, like, all of that is, like, completely ignoring the AI thing. Because the game does use AI assets for some things, which, like, I was willing to kind of overlook if the game was at least, like, fun and entertaining. And, like, maybe if I got further into the game, there'd be more variety, but, like, that was, like, the first 10 songs of the game were basically just all the same song. It's kind of a bummer. So I ended up, I left a review and then I requested a refund on the game. Because $16 is pretty steep for a rhythm game like that. Like, I'm willing to pay $16 for a rhythm game. I'll pay more than that for a rhythm game. But especially doing that and then having, like, a big store shop button right there. Like, they're gonna try to sell individual songs. Like, I'm not paying, you know, 50 cents a song for those kinds of charts. Like, when I buy packs in Groove Coaster, or when I buy all the DCs in Donkagu, it's because they have interesting music and variety. They're also, like, good, interesting games. And especially Donkagu, it's like, all of these are, you know, tiny little doujin circles making Toho music. So, that's a bummer. I was really looking forward to that. I got so excited when I opened Steam and saw that it was out. Because it's not supposed to come out until tomorrow. They did my game dirty. And like 500%ed the original Musyncs, which involves playing every song in the game and getting your average score on every chart in the base game to 115%. So you literally have to play every song in the game. So I played a lot of Musyncs. And also I just like 6-key. 6-key's cool. I've talked about that before. I really like playing 6-key. And so I really want 6-key games to be good. Because there are not that many of them. And a lot of the ones that are out there are pretty bad. So the bar that it had to clear for me to be like, yes, this is worth playing to me, the bar that it had to clear to do that is low. And it didn't clear it. And that makes me sad. I really, really wanted that to be a good game. But we do have the Dankagu DLC 14 coming out in a couple weeks, so I will get a chance to play more 6-key coming up here, and for that I'll probably actually kind of warm up into that, play for a couple days. Going into, get ready for that, because I do like to warm my eyes up for that game before I jump straight into playing a new DLC. That's also a game I've 100%ed. Let's see, when is the release date for that? Pack 14 comes out on does it say here? I know it says somewhere. I've looked this up. April 16th. And that's gonna have 15 new songs. What do we got? 2 originals. An A1. Like a whole bunch of stuff I've never heard of. And I'm sure that all of these are gonna be super cool. Because every song in that game is cool. I've also played every song that is currently in Dankagu. I have a clear on every single chart in the game for 6-key hard. There are currently like 280 or something. They added a profile so you can see your number. It's like, I want that number to be big. And then I made the number big. And it's fun. It's cool. I found a lot of cool new music from listening to things in that game. And not just like find songs, but like find new artists that I then go out and buy albums for. Oh no. It's disappointing. Is this just what gaming is now? If you want to get excited and play something on launch, you just get punished. Never get your hopes up for anything ever, because everything is awful. I feel like too much of a downer right now. I gotta think about something else. Oh yeah, we got a new shiny last night. We got our first phase, and I didn't have my replay buffer on because I was eating pizza and it zonked out, totally reclined. But we got our first phase, it's a spinda, that's kind of expected. There's 70% encounter rate here, so we're gonna see some spinda. But that's kind of cool, because, you know, spinda are all unique, or basically unique. Even if there's some patterns that are visually indistinguishable from each other, this is... I feel like this is also a pretty cool spinda pattern. Like, there's some ugly spinda patterns, and this is like... This looks like a spinda. This is the spinda pattern. That's a reasonable way for a spinda to look. And that ended up being about 5,000 encounters for that, for phase 1, so it was even under odds. Which is nice for a change. My last hunts have been very over odds. That one was the... Brasilia was 19k on that phase, and then the one before that was a Trico, which was about 32,000 encounters. But even then, since then, already done another 8 hours of hunting. Since last night. I guess 7. I just kinda... I stayed up late last night watching videos. Because I didn't want to go to bed, and then it was really late. And I just kinda had this going in my lap. But then woke up today and did a bunch of my tasks, my adult things. Went to the store, and I did laundry, and I folded laundry, and I deep cleaned the bathroom, and I swept and mopped everything, and vacuumed things, and took out the trash, you know. My apartment's really clean right now. It's nice. And I guess doing a little test there for that game also lets me know how well my audio was working. Because I was trying to make sure that my keyboard sounds don't come through too loud on the mic for that, but I don't think they were coming through at all, even when I was hitting relatively hard stuff. Which is nice. Still have some audio issues to sort out. Getting a little bit of this electric crackling somewhere. But that may just be something I have to live with this setup. I don't really have a way of doing like signal isolation, if that's some kind of interference. Don't really have a good way of separating my interface or those cables from anything else. Like, my mic is pretty far off to the side, and I had to keep it separate from the retro setup, because if I put it near the CRT, bad things will happen. But so there's really only one place it can go, and there's really only one place the TVs can go, and that just happens to be close to some other stuff. But, like, I keep my phone away, I keep all my Bluetooth stuff away. Just me. I do have another mic, actually, that I could test out. I need to fix it, though. I accidentally broke a solder point on the circuit board while I was cleaning the grill on it at one point. And at that time, I didn't have a soldering iron. So I was just like, okay, I'll save this for later. I'll get back to it eventually. And since then, I've gotten a soldering iron and done a lot of soldering stuff, so I know that fixing it will be very easy, as long as I can correctly identify where the one cable that got disconnected goes, which should be pretty easy. So I may try that out at some point, but I don't know, I feel like this microphone should not be having these issues, so I don't think it's a microphone issue. It's probably somewhere in either the physical audio chain, like going from the mic to the interface to USB, like some sort of interference with that, or some sort of like CPU RAM issue. Just because I have so many things running, something is creating buzz somewhere. I don't know. I've been messing around with it. It sounds a little better than it used to. Slowly trial and erroring my way through the wizardry of audio setup. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. There's so many steps. It's very hard to isolate problems. Friend just sent me a very cute seal video. Excellent content. That's what I like to see. I have to work tomorrow. Very excited. Might try to go for a trip this weekend though. I have Saturday and Sunday off, so even if I work Monday, I could go do an overnight somewhere. Getting that little taste of camping kinda made me realize how much I need to get outside. Like, I gotta get out, I gotta go do stuff, I gotta go for hikes, I gotta go be in nature. I cannot keep sitting in front of a computer all day for 24 hours a day. And it's just like slightly not warm enough to do stuff normally. Like I still have to wear a sweater under my jacket when I go outside for walks. Got a double layer. I really want to get outside. I need to go do stuff. I still haven't gone through my camera pictures either. That trip, I don't think I took very many. Because my batteries were dying. But I have since charged my batteries. So I can go through, look at my pictures, and then get set up to go take more. Do some hikes. Get some miles on those boots. Do some reading. But also the pollen's been really bad the last couple weeks. So it's hard for me to be outside for too long. I go for a walk and then I come back and it's like, okay, I have to immediately take a shower or I'm just gonna die. I have so many tree pollen allergies. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by things. Might need to take a nap at here at some point. Man, I can't get over how much of a bummer that is. I have to stop thinking about it. I have to do something else. Maybe I'll play some Don Kagu tomorrow. Okay, I guess we could do our experiment. We never ended up doing our experiment. So we're gonna set a timer for like 5 minutes. Let's do 6. Makes it easy. I'm gonna set a timer for 6 minutes. And we're gonna see how many Pokemon encounters we can get in 6 minutes. And then multiply that by 10, and then it's gonna be approximately our hourly rate. So that's 1. Because I have not done this with White Flute plus Illuminate yet. I guess I could use my Abacus. 2. I don't have a little traffic counter, I have an Abacus for my things. Which someone in the Shiny Hunting Discord posted one time, and I was like, that is so genius. You are so right, dude. You should be proud. It's 4. 9. Oh. 11. Mhm. 14. 15. 16. 17. 19. 20. 21. 25. 6. Yeah, it's pretty clean 26 there in 6 minutes. So 216 counters per hour. Relatively high focus. So, call it 250. 250 encounters per hour. Which is about what I was kind of guessing it was gonna be. So what is that for, say, 32 hours expected time to find a shiny? Which, yeah, that sounds about right. I guess that means last phase was actually a little bit under that, more like 4K. Oh. Maybe I should just take a nap. Do a little mental reset. I've also kind of been noticing recently how much better I feel when I just like close Discord, close YouTube, go sit at not my computer desk, you know, put on a record, a book. I just feel a lot better when I do that. I played piano today. I haven't played piano in a while, but I dusted it off, like literally dusted it off, and cleaned up my bench and played while I was waiting for the oven to heat up, while I was cooking, which was nice. I do really like playing piano. It also makes me feel good. Making music. Improv'd for a little bit, and then I played my kind of my normal repertoire. Nothing hard. All stuff that I've been playing for like a decade. Dude, even the newest song that I have in that common repertoire at this point, I learned during COVID, so it was 2019. So it's been a while. It'll be Summer by Joe Hisaishi. Some of these I've literally been playing since like 2010. River Flows in You. Innocent from Castle in the Sky. The Sun Rises from Okami. Conting du Notre Été from Amélie. Some of those are recital pieces that I played back in like high school. And I just like kept in my fingers because they feel good to play. I mean, I've lost a lot of stuff from then too, and replaced it with other things, but for like core repertoire, stuff that I can sit down and no matter how long it's been since I've played, I still have in my fingers memorized. Because I worked a lot during COVID to get back into playing classical stuff. Especially Chopin. But I started going through these Bastian piano literature books and playing a bunch of these short pieces. Just to kind of broaden my skill set at the lower level, and then doing sight reading and stuff. So I was playing a lot of those, but then, you know, those don't become memorized pieces. Those aren't really concert repertoire type stuff. You play them to like practice a technique. And then I started working through the Henley Chopin book. And I played like 6 or 7 or 8 of those. And started to get into some real ones. Like a lot of the easy, like it's the Henley progressive difficulty one. So it starts out with, you know, Waltz in A minor posthumous. Then you get the Waltz in B minor posthumous. And then a couple of the easy preludes, and then there's a posthumous mazurka, A minor, that's not that bad. And it's not like all of the easy stuff. Like it skips over the prelude in A major, which is probably the easiest Chopin piece, partially just because of how short it is. It's like a 25-second piece. Outside of one funny chord, there's nothing really too challenging about that. And I guess thumb crossing. But it's really natural. Like everything you do with Chopin is natural. He's just so good at making things that are technically complicated simple, if you follow the fingerings correctly. But then I started to get into... Oh, it skips to the posthumous Nocturne in C minor too. But I started playing... I think the last thing I was working on was the Nocturne in G minor. Which, that's like a real piece. That's not... That's not a little baby prelude. That's not, you know, something that he was writing for a student with simplified voicings and stuff. Like, the middle section of that is, like, actually pretty challenging. Goes through all of these chromatic movements. It's big and strong and powerful, and it's like, that's a real piece. Like, that is the kind of piece that I would play for a concert if I were still doing recital stuff. And it was like, I had to actually sit down and play through that one bar at a time, that middle section at least. And like do like focused practice of just that section for, you know, you spend 10 minutes playing the same 2 bars over and over again. And then you add another bar, and then you add another bar, and then you add another bar, and you just keep doing that. So it was like real, actually needed to work on this piece, but then my work schedule changed and made it kind of hard to practice. But I would like to get back to that. I like piano. It's pretty. I like playing Chopin. And then I also, relatively recently, I ordered the book of John Field Nocturnes, which are a little bit easier than Chopin, but still very pretty. I would like to learn at least some of those. But I've not actually sat down at the piano with them yet. And then I started working on Bach too. I'm really bad at Bach. I really, really struggle with Bach. But I know it's like eating your veggies. Not necessarily something that you want to do all of the time as a big flashy romantic pianist, but you gotta play your Bach. And that's not to say that Bach is bad, like, and tasty to play. Bach can be really fun to play, sometimes. But it's very different. And at least for me right now, it feels like more mechanical than musical, a lot of it. And I know that changes eventually, and the real difficulty in Bach is bringing out the expressiveness, but I gotta practice to do that. I haven't been practicing, so those inventions don't sound like music to me. They sound like funny math exercises. But they'll get there when I actually get back to sitting down and playing. Yeah, I think I am gonna take a nap. I'm gonna do just a little bit more here. And then go take a nap, and then probably not do anything else tonight. I'm probably gonna like turn off my computer. Let me do that. So that I have to go sit down and read for real when I wake up. Maybe I'll cook something. I made some pizza dough last night, which I think I talked about. Little 12-inch cast iron pan pizzas. This one was not very good. I made one last night and it was okay. Like, the dough's fine. But I used cheapo tomato sauce. And then only cheese. So I went out and I bought some pepperoni today. And nicer tomato sauce. Can afford to have nice pasta or like marinara sauce on my pizza. Nicer, at least. But I don't know if I want to make that tonight, because whenever I make this dough, my recipe makes enough for 2 dough balls. And so sometimes I do 1 pizza, and then I'll do like a cheesy bread. Sometimes I'll save it and do 2 pizzas. So I just have one dough ball in the freezer right now. Or in the fridge, sorry. You can freeze this dough. But I usually don't, because I don't really need to have to prepare stuff that far in advance, because it is pretty fast to make. Like thawing out a thing of pizza dough. Like if I were to make these dough balls and then freeze them, thawing the dough would take about as long as just making new dough and letting it rise. So it doesn't actually save that much time for me in my personal portion sizes. If I were making like a lot of pizza for a lot of people all the time, then maybe I would make bigger batches. But since my batches are so small, I can just kind of make dough as I need it and be fine. Yeah, I think I'll probably make a pizza tonight. I think that's a good idea. I'm not gonna want to do it tomorrow after work. And if I leave it much longer than that, then it's gonna go bad in the fridge. Especially if I'm traveling this weekend, potentially. I don't want to leave it here until like Monday. So I think I'll make that tonight. Just a picture of it or something. Because they are pretty tasty when they're good. Especially when I have other stuff, like I really like banana peppers and jalapenos and so I like to put peppers on my pizzas. Spice. And I mix some hot sauce in with the hot sauce and garlic in with the base sauce. I like a little kick. And by a little kick, I mean a lot of flavorful kick. My spice tolerance is very high. So I bring hot sauce with me places to, like, you know, food get-togethers. Like when we went camping, I brought some of my hot sauce so that I could put in my ramen and meals. And then some other people tried it and they were like, oh my god, how do you eat this? It's just like, I don't know, it's tasty, man. It's only habaneros, it's fine. They're like, only habaneros? What do you mean? And I pulled out the other bottle, it was scorpion peppers, and they were like, what? I really like the taste of... the flavor of ghost pepper and scorpion peppers. I wasn't really a big fan of Reapers for a while, but then I had a nice Reaper sauce, and now I kind of like Reaper as well. Especially on potato things. I really like potatoes. Tater tots. I do like potato scrambles a lot. Just get like a 5-pound bag of potatoes and a bunch of onions and chop them up, throw them in a pan. Sometimes you throw eggs in there, sometimes you can throw cheese in there. But eggs, onion, or no, potato, onion, garlic, hot sauce. That's all you need, baby. It's a whole meal. Big bowl of fried veggies. Huh. 11:15 seems like, or sorry, 1:15. Seems like a pretty good stopping point. So let's count this down. 5. 4. Excuse me. 2. 1. And our last Pokemon. It's a normal spinda. It's a 232-ish. So 8 hours since the last shiny-ish. Which we have just determined is about 2,000 encounters, so... In the time since I last streamed, not only did I get a shiny, like do a whole bunch of encounters and get a shiny, but then I've already made significant progress towards the next phase. If I do more hunting tonight, I'll make sure to keep my replay buffer on. I'm a little sad that I didn't get a clip, even though I had OBS open and was playing. Just forgot to start it, despite that being the whole point of me setting up the OBS replay buffer. Oh well. We live and we learn. Yeah, sorry today's streams were a little bit of a bummer. Just kind of... I was really excited and then I was really let down, so... Hopefully we can get into some more interesting stuff here next week, or this weekend, depending on if I decide to take a trip or not. But for now, that's gonna be me signing off. If you wanna see my pizza, I'll post a picture on Blue Sky later. Make sure you follow for that.